The Minnesota Vikings are facing an interesting and unexpected quarterback dilemma heading into the 2025 offseason. With the team finding itself in a surprisingly strong position, Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy are shaping up to be a formidable duo. At first glance, this might seem like an either-or scenario, but the Vikings could be set to take a different path, keeping both quarterbacks for the 2025 season. Let's rewind a bit. Last August, while visiting the Vikings camp, I sat down with one of the team's decision-makers. During the conversation, we shifted gears from the usual talk about training camp to discussing the delicate balance of developing young quarterbacks. The conversation eventually led to the legendary Andy Reid and how he kept Patrick Mahomes on the bench for most of his rookie year, allowing the future NFL MVP to patiently learn from Alex Smith. I couldn't help but draw a parallel to the Vikings' current situation. The Vikings selected McCarthy with the 10th overall pick, and now they're balancing his future with Darnold's present. Darnold, entering his 7th NFL season, had found new life as a backup quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, showcasing his ability to thrive in a system under coach Kyle Shanahan. And in Vikings camp, Darnold looked sharp, with his past struggles seemingly behind him, while McCarthy, at just 21 years old, was learning the ropes. Fast forward a few months, and Darnold has exceeded expectations. The Vikings now find themselves in an interesting spot. Do they stay the course with McCarthy, trusting his potential as the future? Or do they lean into the current success of Darnold, who's playing at a high level and could be the key to their immediate future? After a few discussions with NFL executives, it became clear that the either-or scenario I had assumed might not be the only option. The idea of keeping both quarterbacks, Darnold as the starter and McCarthy as the developmental backup, has gained traction. The Vikings have the financial flexibility to make it work, with Darnold potentially playing under the franchise tag at nearly $40 million for the 2025 season. McCarthy, on the other hand, would be locked into his rookie contract at just under $5 million. This approach wouldn't be without its challenges, as the Vikings would need to balance the cap space and their roster. However, it's not an unprecedented move in the NFL. Teams like the Green Bay Packers have successfully managed two quarterbacks at the same time, Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love, before ultimately transitioning from one to the other. This type of dual quarterback scenario could be the answer for the Vikings as they navigate their Super Bowl window. The crux of this approach lies in Darnold's resurgence. While it's clear that his success is partly due to being in a system that suits him with talented players around him, including Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, there's still a chance that his free agent market won't be as lucrative as expected. If that's the case, Darnold could find himself back with the Vikings, potentially signing a long-term deal that sets him up for success. For the Vikings, keeping Darnold and McCarthy together could give them a solid mix of experience and potential at the quarterback position. The Vikings are in a unique spot, a team on the rise. With a quarterback situation that could go in multiple directions, they have options, and if they continue their strong playoff run, it's entirely possible that Darnold and McCarthy will be the answer for 2025 and beyond. As the Vikings' quarterback situation continues to evolve, it's important to keep an eye on the offseason. The decision-making process will be complex, but keeping both Darnold and McCarthy is a real possibility. Whether that's the right move for the long-term success of the franchise remains to be seen. But for now, the Vikings seem to be in a position of strength with their quarterbacks. In other QB news, it looks like Aaron Rodgers and his future with the New York Jets will be a story to follow closely this offseason. After another disappointing year, Rodgers has made comments about professionalism and the importance of leadership. But his past controversies, like skipping mandatory minicamp, have left some in the Jets organization questioning his consistency as a leader. With the team in turmoil, the situation surrounding Rodgers is one to watch closely in 2025. Meanwhile, Russell Wilson's status with the Pittsburgh Steelers is under scrutiny after a series of losses to playoff-bound teams. The Steelers will likely look to re-sign Wilson, but there's a growing sense that a long-term deal may be out of the question, depending on how the rest of the season plays out. In terms of trade rumors, expect big names like Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, and Deebo Samuel to surface. Additionally, keep an eye on Garrett Wilson of the Jets. Who could be on the move if the team decides to shake things up? Finally, there's some uncertainty surrounding Kyler Murray and his future with the Arizona Cardinals. If Murray doesn't show improvement next season, the Cardinals may look to make a quarterback change after the 2025 offseason. The quarterback carousel is spinning, and it's going to be a fascinating offseason across the NFL. Stay tuned.